I'm Hey guys, we're back on air. So sorry for that happening, guys. Google Hangouts is so flunky. It's one of the reasons why I'm changing the format of the show. It's just because well, one, Google Hangouts is flunky. Two, they're getting rid of Google Hangouts, I think sometime this year or next.
What?
Yeah, did you know that?
I didn't know about the getting rid of it part.
Oh yeah, Google's like, yeah, no one's using it, and I think a lot of people are using it, but they just don't want people. They're just done with it.
That's dumb-tarded.
Yeah. So yeah, that's ridiculous. But so guys, sorry for that. I'm gonna start sending out this link to get everyone back who was watching it. So while I do that, Jeremy, tell us. Yeah, you were talking about how you came up with this idea. The Regal Cinema people, they were all wearing some like superhero uniforms, and you asked if they like felt like they were superheroes.
Yeah, I mean their uniforms looked a little bit like X-Men uniforms, and so I said, "Do you feel like a superhero in your outfit?" And they're all like, "No, I'm just a working stiff, right?" And so it started my head turning, and then when I saw, I used to see so many movies in the theater. I would see over 50 movies a year in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would see, the guy with the wand coming every movie, right? And finally it just clicked. Like, well, what if he saw a bomb? And I play with it quite a bit more until I finally brought it all together. But those were the two essential elements that I wanted these people that worked at the theater to be a super team, and I wanted the guy who has the wand to discover a bomb, and we go from there.
So in this like story, is this like a regular occurrence or is this like a new occurrence that happens?
It's a new occurrence that happens. Yeah, they've never
okay.
They've never like found a bomb before.
Okay, but it's now, but now they've got to deal with this, and now they're going to become superheroes.
Yes, though I kind of think if you look at what happens to them, they're more like more like Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they all have tools that they can use to go deal with these movie monsters.
Let's see. So with that, so how long? So is this issue one, or is this a one shot story?
Look, it's a self-contained story. It's not numbered one, but if the people like this, there definitely will be more. The second adventure would be Movie Men meet Dr. Frankenstein and his monster, and it would be a fuller thing because this is a 20-page issue with a possible 4-page add-on if someone wants to sponsor a story featuring them. Like a follow-up would probably be something more like 30 or 40 pages.
Gotcha. Well, guys, two things. One, if you want to share this video out on your Twitter to get more people who we might have lost here, those lost souls, that'd be really appreciated. But two, learn from this. I'm so grateful that it's a self-contained story, because so many times do I back Kickstarters or Indiegogos, and I typically don't these days anymore back a number one issue. I typically back either it's a one shot or a graphic novel, because I know I'm going to get the full story, because there's that fear of it's a number one, and I've been burned, and I never got number two or number three. It's like 5 years. I'm still waiting for number two of some comic book story. And I get that, it's hard. It's a big process to create a comic, but I feel like if you're going to do something and start with issue one, you're like, we got this a 5-10 issue story. You better like have a plan to get me those stories.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And I'm really glad. So I have a lot of different projects in the air, but I'm glad this one landed first, just because it really is a good one-shot, self-contained story that's a lot of fun.
Is this your first comic book like ever made?
Yeah, there was a 4-page backup story in Knight Errant that will be coming out. That was another Indiegogo that I backed, but they had a tier that said write your own story for this.
Mm-hmm.
And I then approached the artist and said, well, what kind of story? And he said, well, you can create your own original character and do this in 4 pages. And I said, okay. So there's a character in that called Huckleberry Black, but this is the first full-length comic book.
Gotcha. I did a similar thing with Demons, where I like let a creator, like a person, like if they paid me like X amount, I would let them write a 2-page comic book story, and I draw it. And I think it's Anki. He goes by Anki on YouTube and Mythical Fork on Twitter.
Okay.
And it's his first script. And man, is this thing gonna challenge the crap out of me? We were going through the script for like 3 hours on Saturday.
Okay.
And I was like, the whole time I was sweating at first. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to draw this. Like, this is so hard. Like, hold on, let me see if I can pull up. And this kind of could go to I don't want to pull that up. It's gonna be a lot of work. Goes with the collaboration process.
Yeah.
In that, as a writer, when you write a script, you got to make it so that Enki says good times. It really was good times. I've never talked with a writer so in depth about their script and the paneling, and like, you know, he had such a clear vision of what he wanted. And I've never actually worked with a writer like that, where they're like, you know, if it's a theater, you know, they really have the stage. They've created the stage. And typically with a lot of writers I've worked with, they're just like, yeah, you know, you go for it. So that was a really awesome experience. It stressed me out the entire time. But once we were done talking, we got the pencil, we got the layouts created. They were intense layouts, and I think we're gonna come out with something that's probably gonna be one of the best pieces of artwork I've ever done. And I think that's because we had a really good collaboration. We had a good conversation.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of writers and artists, sometimes they butt heads. I mean, what was the process like of collaborating with your artists with this story?
Well, what I did first is I had Doug design these characters. So I said, here's what they need to look like approximately. And I said, basically take Regal uniforms and combine them with Challengers of the Unknown costumes, like some kind of a mashup. And let's see. And I said, and you know, I want a redhead, a blonde, etc. Right. And then I described the monsters that he needed to do. And he just nailed it all in the first take. Like they're minor things that I would just say, well, maybe make that a little different when you draw the comic, but there were no revisions required to the initial designs, you know?
That's nice.
Yeah. And in fact, if you look at when you guys are looking at the Indiegogo, when you scroll down the right side, when you look at all the perks, those are all of his original designs that I just cut and used, you know, on the perks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's actually a smart idea. So a lot of these made it. A lot of these made it. I can see there's some subtle changes.
Yeah.
But most of them, he nailed them down. It looks like first go, pretty much.
Yeah. And so you look, you don't usually get that good fit on the first go, but we really did here. And you know, so I think this is going to work very well, and I think it did. So,
well, one thing that's important is, and by the way, I'm looking at one of the pages, and I don't know if that's a Shaggy reference. I see one of the characters he's running, and it's got like green shirt, brown boot cut pants. I'm like, that's Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. But one thing that I've stressed with so many like creators when they're creating a comic is like I know a lot of writers would be like, oh, you're an affordable artist, you should draw my story. And I'm like, no, you've written if you were a musician, you just wrote a song for the piano. That's a tuba player. You don't want that tuba player. I don't care how affordable he is. Like, that tuba player plays a tuba song. You need a piano player. With this, I mean, for a story like this, my artwork wouldn't be good for your story, but this artwork is great for this story.
Oh, like, yeah,
it's got the tone's perfect.
Yeah, yes, it was. I really lucked out. Yeah, like if I was gonna work with you, my first thought would be, let's do a crime comic.
Oh my gosh, and I'd say yes, because that's my niche right there.
Yeah.
And it's important for writers to realize that you need to find the right artist
exactly
for your story. Jeff Weber in the house. He says, "Is it easier to draw a script that's vague or detailed?" It depends on the artist. I'll be honest. The reason why that I struggle with a detailed script is mainly because I'm lazy. They're like the characters right here and the characters right here. I'm like, oh, I gotta like draw. I've got to like plan this out. I'm such a like. I read the script and I go, I know what it looks like, and I'll just draw above the writer's like, and there's something right here, and there's like if they're so detailed and like, well, where's the coffee cup that's on the table on the left side of the character? This is going to be really important in page 3. I'm just like, I didn't read that. I'll be honest. I skipped over it. So that's me. That's my limitations as an artist, and I need to overcome them. That's my weakness, and I need to get better at that.
So I'm Sean Langley. I'm working with him on another project. And he would do the roughs and send them to me and say, can I do the inks on this? Right. And at one point that you have a guy kicking a door in, and there's 3 guys on the other side of the door. And he says, how does this look? And I said, well, it's good. I like it. But how many people are supposed to be in that room in the script? Right. And he goes and checks and he goes, oh, only 2. Crap. He goes, well, what if the door kills one of them? And I'm like, perfect.
You eliminated the problem. Excellent.
Yeah, like, hey, why not?
Whatever works, and that's improv right there. Justin Ori says, I like more details. It leaves out the possibility that I miss something the writer wants. That's very true. By the way, guys, if you haven't liked this video, thanks everyone for liking the previous video that Google Hangouts screwed us over with. Give us a thumbs up here. And he also says everybody's different. A detailed script with freedom to improvise would be my ideal way. I mean, right now I'm working on Undead Row with Wes Nadell. I have to draw 6 pages this week in order to like keep up with my schedule. But it's originally a film script.
Yeah.
And basically he just said he paid me to first off just read the book and then just like, okay, this like that line, that's a panel right there, and then that's a panel. And so I have a ton of freedom with that. And then I've read Justin. I'll be working on a book after this with Justin, and I've read his script, and he is detailed, but he does give off a lot of freedom. And so I'm scared that like the next writer I work with, if I do another project afterwards, after Justin's with someone, I don't know if I will. I just gotten so lucky with people being so like loose with their scripts.
Yeah.
I couldn't do 20 pages of like hardcore detail. I'd ruin the comic, honestly, for that person.
One of the things that helps now is I stick a lot of Google image photo references in my stuff. So I say, it needs to, like in this, I'll say it needs to be this neighborhood of this place. And once in a while they'll come back and say, I can't find that. And so then I'll go find exactly, like even Google Earth or whatever. Like here's a picture. You can just draw that. That's hopeful.
Well, let me show you guys this. Let me screen share, or actually let me like pull it up before I let you guys see what like all the kind of files I have on my computer. Yes.
Good call.
You'd be like, wait, what is that? Okay, I don't care if you guys see these ones. So with Mythical Fork, aka Enki, this right here, it's probably super blurry, so I'm sorry, guys. So he sent me, and this is just a 2-page script, by the way. And he sent me a zip file. So when you get a zip file, you know that there's a lot of things to unpack. And so right here is the 2-page script, and it's once we unpacked it together, I'm like on Sunday I was supposed to draw a couple pages. We'll get a couple pages ready for Undead Row for this week, and I just sat there playing around with the layouts that we did because I'm so excited after our talk that day. But like right here, this is the appearances. This is what they need to, this is what they should like kind of look like. This is what some of the animals, this is what the animals that need to look like. This is what these sets of characters, this is what they wear. This is what their weapons look like. I mean, with this, there is absolutely no way for me to like be like, I didn't know what they looked like.
Yeah.
Like I know. And I think I think ultimately if a writer has a certain like thing that they want to be seen in their comic. I don't know. I think it's the writer's obligation and job to provide these reference photos. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you actually have to provide the. I don't think you have to send the photos like he did. I think that it's really easy now to just send links to stuff, and you can literally just drop that into the script. So as they're reading it, they can click on something and then come right back once they've seen what it is. That's been my way of dealing with that.
I do like that everything is in a folder though. Like he'll be like panel 1, blah blah. It's in general attire photo.
Yeah,
folder, file name, no bad long. I'm like, okay, that's what it is.
This is much closer to a professional thing. Like if you get a script from DC, they'll specify a lot of references and they'll include things along with it, and like that. I get why he did this, and it's a good thing to do.
For sure. It's a good, and that's his very first comic book script, so that's a great way to start. Keep it up. The artist that you hire for your big project will definitely be grateful for it. Jeff Weber says, sometimes artists can imagine visuals better than what a writer would.
That's true.
It's very true. But sometimes, though, it's good to get, like, if you were to just be like, gun, like a sci-fi gun, the first thing I think I'd probably just go to Star Wars. But his sci-fi guns are very realistic with some like laser scopes or something, and so it does help me figure out, okay, use this as a reference and build upon it.
Yeah, yeah. In my case, I just said Gatling gun and space blaster, and he nailed it. So.
Let's see. Eric Mogul says, I like to talk to the artist about panels I write to see how they would do it. No, that's a great way, guys. And honestly, the key to all of this that we're talking about, the episode's called Keys to Collaboration, is communication is the biggest. If you don't have communication, it's not going to be good. Did you guys have any moments, Jeremy, where you're like, did you guys have any hiccups, I guess, during the production of this?
There were very few hiccups in the production of this. There's other stuff that I've worked on where there's been more hiccups. And, one of the things you were talking about is communication. Sometimes you work these days, you're working with artists that don't even speak English, right? I mean, you're working with, I got an artist in Turkey, and I guarantee you, he can't speak English very well, and he's putting everything through Google Translate or something.
Oh yeah.
And so, I'm getting good results out of him, but sometimes I have to go back and say, did you understand this correctly? It's okay. That's fine. You just you got to understand there's a language barrier there.
Yeah. I worked on, there's a sci-fi graphic novel I wrote, and I hired a guy named Joe Wong. He is in Indonesia, and we did it's 100-page comic book, and there was only one hiccup. And it sucked that it was like, I was like, oh, like this needs to be this, like that just can't have it like without that way. And he was like, yeah, and it was like the last like 2 pages of like that 100-page book. And I was like, thanks. He goes, hey, it's no problem. I don't speak English. And I was like, wait, what? We've been working together for like a year. You don't? He goes, oh no, I have to put your scripts into Google Translate. And he sent me some of the Google translations, and I'm like, oh, like, this is way off. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how. I don't know, because like because when I convert it back from Indonesian back to English, it's so off. I'm just surprised
it's
that
telephone at that point. It's considerably worse than the version that he got.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I'm just grateful because I don't know what I wrote in Indonesian. I'm just grateful that what it came out like 99.9% exactly how I wanted it, and if not better at some points. Yeah, but it's true. The episode that's happening this Wednesday, next Wednesday, we're talking about what's like working with international artists and creators. I mean, you couldn't do that with the internet back then. I'd never find out most of the artists I work with.
Oh man, yeah, and it's very useful. I wrote a list of things here that I think are important to collaboration. Is it okay?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's go through them.
Establish trust on both sides. One of the things that I find is a cheat that's useful is when I'm going to be working with an artist on something, I pay them a certain amount of money to do designs. And so it's not I won't specify the amount, but they're what I'm saying right up front is I value your work, I pay promptly, and they see that. Um, and then they also then because that's the beginning of the relationship, they give me their best effort, and it works very well. Um, so that's good. Another one is know what you want. Um, this is we were speaking to this a little earlier. The more specific directions you can give, the better. I do think though there needs to be some room for innovation and
Absolutely.
improv. Yeah. Um, don't just give them something extremely vague and critique it. I hate when people do that. If you're not going to be the driving force behind this, then don't be the one that's carping.
Oh yeah, I got a story, and I've said this on the show a bunch, and then I finally realized the girl I was dissing, and she actually works in the industry. And so like I found her on Twitter. I was like, I saw her picture. I was like, oh, I remember working with you. You dumb, stupid. And like got on there, and it was like representative of this comic company. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what have I like? I might have just like axed my entire career. But she sent me a script so vague. Vague, and I was like, and I said I'll do the first page for free, just to try out, because I liked your pitch. I would do the first page for free just to see, and so I did it, and it was like the first panel is just like you see a dead girl's arm bleeding out from a bed, and I was like, okay, pretty violent. Drew it, and then the second panel was like a cop kicks open a door. And it says "bam." That was a sound effect. Bam, boom, okay. Boom, and bam. And that was all the direction it had. And so in my opinion, in my eyes, I'm like, okay, if I'm a cop and I ever kick down a door, I probably have a gun in my hand.
Yeah.
And I drew the gun, and also it said "bam." So I was like, okay, is there like something I'm missing?
Yeah.
So I had him holding a gun, and man, I sent it to her. And I was like, hey, how'd this go? And she went off on me. I was like, hey, how'd this go? She's like, there's not supposed to be a gun in this. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, why would there be a gun in this? And I was like, okay, chill.
Because when cops kick doors down, they have their gun drawn.
Yeah, they're not just like, like what's going on?
Yeah,
like if you're gonna kick a door,
Bruce Lee.
Yeah, if you're gonna kick a door down, you're expecting some like crazy stuff on the other end. And I was like, I told her my logic. She's like, clearly you can't follow directions, and you're not the artist for me. And I was just like, directions? There weren't any. And go her for still, she works in the industry now and whatever she does in it, but man, like she doesn't write, that's for sure. But yeah, there's just no communication and there was no directions, and I was like, okay, I thought I was doing something right. And then she was just really mean to me, so I'd never work with her. There's no trust. I did something for free. You could at least be a little nicer about it.
Yeah, I mean, you could just say, "Oh, I didn't envision a gun here,"
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's okay, cool.
Let me erase that and something else.
Yeah, I mean, cool. That's fine.
So what's your next point?
Perfect is not a thing. You can get good, but there's always room for improvement, and there's a trade-off between improvement and time, and you have to strike that balance.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, especially in the indie world, I know a lot of us. We want to create a comic that's got Jim Lee artwork in it. We all want to. But if there was an indie artist with Jim Lee talent, they probably wouldn't be indie.
Yeah, they'd get snatched up pretty quick.
Yeah, so we got to work with people. I mean, when I work with writers, I tell them like, hey, listen, I promise you, I'm going to give you my 100% best on this story. With that being said, my 100% best is probably like 20% a professional artist, but I am trying. I just want to let you know that.
Yeah. No, I mean, but it's even like Jim Lee I've seen some of, like his.
He's goofed so many times. He's goofed up recently.
His Action Comics 1000 cover was meh. It's fine.
So I think he's getting boring. I think he's losing it.
Yeah. So you don't know everything that your collaborators know, so ask questions.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. That's a good one.
Yeah. Try to bring out the best in your collaborators.
Oh, dude, I gotta get a shout out to Wes Nadell. By the way, guys, if you're in the chat, if you have any things you want to contribute to this list, let us know and say hi. But dude, Wes Nadell, and I'm not saying that any other person I collaborate with or work with has to treat me like this, but that dude has sent me like merch. He sent me like a Batman signed poster. He has sent me like a Christmas card. He's been so nice to work with. Every other collaborator is just like, you have my pages, here's the money, bye. And he's just like, hey, how's your Christmas going? Here's a Christmas card. We got you a gift for you and your wife. And he is so freaking nice. And if you were to be like, hey, you want to work with me again? I'd be like, yeah. Treat me nice. Uh-oh. Did we lose Jeremy? Are we live still? Jeremy. Uh-oh. Okay, guys. Oh no. Let me tweet Jeremy, guys. Guys, I'm telling you, Google Hangouts is literal AIDS. Jeremy, you back in?
Yeah, I'm back in. Apparently I'm here twice.
Yeah, no, your face is there twice. Not on the actual screen, I think. I don't know. We'll see. Oh yeah, okay. There's gonna be two of you on the actual YouTube screen.
Good Lord. Yeah, I don't know what I mean, it was either Google Hangouts or my network. I don't know. And
guys, I just the beauty of Google Hangouts, man.
Yeah. The last thing I was gonna say is, to the greatest extent possible, get your collaborators back in public.
Oh my god. Yes, that's support them. Make them think that make them believe that you believe in them, you know? And praise them. I feel like something I always do is whenever I post, I'm like, hey guys, I've got a comic coming out, blah, it's about this. And what really makes this comic good is look at the artwork. It's by so-and-so.
Yeah.
They killed it.
Well, I mean, especially if you're a writer, if you look at the statistics on what people are attracted to with Indiegogos, you know, it's at least a plurality that goes for the art, if not a majority, right? They're the hook. Now, the story reels people in and keeps them there, but you absolutely need really good, their best performance to get people to buy your book.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a business where they say don't judge a book by its cover. Comic books, you judge a book by its cover.
Absolutely.
Like, that's I've got a question for you. It's from Ichthus. Okay. He says, how many chances will you give an artist until you drop them to find another artist to either continue or redo the art for the pages?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've had a couple of times where it's gotten dicey with me and an artist, and as long as you can establish that it's not a trust issue, stick with them. If it's a trust issue, if you just don't trust this person, then you're gonna have to move on.
I'm working with an artist right now, and guys, this project won't even be see the light till like 2025 at the rate of the pages that are coming in. You're looking at like 1 to 2 pages every like 2 months. But that's neither here or there. But I know he always comes back mainly because I've already paid for it and I trust him. But let's say we got Durakin chances. Let's say though, Jeremy, that you and I are working together. I'm the artist, and then hey, I've got a 20-page comic book story, and I turn in like 1 page, and then like you don't hear from me, and then like you're like, hey, where are you? And then like I'm like, oh, I'm doing stuff. And then like 3 weeks later, you might get another page from me. Basically, like I'm inconsistent. This project's going to take an eternity. Would you move on?
Well, I mean, one of the reasons I would move on is just because I don't think you're playing straight with me.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, if you're like, if you're not getting this stuff to me because your hand has problems, and you can only draw for a fraction of the time, then okay, I'll work around that. If you're not getting it to me because you don't feel like it, that's a little different issue.
Yeah, I'm just like exactly like I make sure that like if I don't send pages to Wes, like I try to send pages to him weekly, so let him know, hey, like life, like expect some pages next week. But like yeah, I've worked with some artists where like that you can just tell they're just like, like this isn't really a big priority to me, even though you're paying me, and you're just like, well then I'm out. I like demons. I was supposed to have like 5 short stories issues fill-ins between volume 1 and volume 2. I paid each of those 5 artists the first page, and they all 5 of them took my money, and I never saw them again. I've never seen them again.
That's garbage.
Oh yeah, I lost a couple $100, and it's like, and then sometimes I'll see them on a Facebook group like looking for work. And man, all it takes is for me to just like, I just have to do that. I'm always the first comment. Hey, get this, everyone. Get this artist did.
Yeah.
And then they're out. They delete their own post.
Yeah, it's I don't know why people do that. I haven't had any artists, and look, I vet them and I establish trust. I don't just go with people willy-nilly, that's helpful. So if you take more time on the front end, there's a lot of times there's a lot of fewer back end problems. But I haven't had any artists, just ghost on me.
Lucky. Yeah. Hey, someone in the chat who's an artist, go hit up Jeremy to work with him, and then ghost him in 2 months, and then just let him feel some pain. Because it is gosh, it is so hard. It just totally set my plan back. When that happened, I was like, you know what? There are a couple unanswered questions between volume 1 and volume 2. These are going to answer them perfectly. Then when you lose a couple $100, it's like crap. Well, now I don't even have enough money I don't have the money I could pay another artist. I don't even have money to pay one artist to do one backup story because all the money's going to the main artist. So, whoop-de-doo, like there's those backup stories to fill in the. But it was a learning experience, and I hope that you don't. So the artist for the movie men will use if once the campaign gets funded and you guys do a second one, is it going to be the same artist?
Absolutely. Yeah, I very much want to keep Doug involved in this, and there's potentially another project that we'd like to do together as well.
Awesome. This guy says, "Hey, Jeremy, did you get my email?" This is a good guy, because I don't think I can't see you morally doing something like that. And I hope anyone, by the way, who watches this channel never ever does that. And if you do, just come clean and repent of your sins. So I guess one big thing is, who is it? Here's a question then. When I was doing demons, 99.9999% of the promotion was done by me.
Okay.
I will say, Travis Martinez, he killed it on the art. It's exactly how I envisioned it for all 14 issues. But I didn't get a retweet. I didn't get any promotion from him, and I don't know if it's because he felt that it's like, oh well, I'm not getting paid anymore, so I don't need to do this. What's that like with you and
Doug?
Like, are you guys both promoting this equally, or do you find that the majority of the has to go onto your shoulders?
I mean, right now I'm doing the majority, but Doug is involved in promoting it. He's doing the sort of the retweeting, the social media stuff that you can do. And we're, I think this week, going to be doing a live stream together. And he hasn't done a lot of that, so there'll be a learning curve for him, but he's very willing to do it. And I think he's very engaging, and I would like to, I want to get him out there more to promote it. I very much view him as a partner on this, not just the hired help.
And that's such a good way to think about it. And I think sometimes when we are as writers, sometimes we have that perspective. And it's taken me a while to get past that because I see, oh, you're hired. Thank you, bye bye, and that's just it's not a healthy mindset way to treat people because like you don't know if they're gonna come back or whatnot.
Yeah.
If you ever need them. Ikva says, let me get my PayPal done. And then Derekin says, well, your PayPal done. PayPal is, a good way to pay artists and people. Justin says, if I have any part in a book, I'm going to promote the crap out of it. It's still part of your resume. And that's true. And that's the thing is also, like with the Handyman, I'm trying to promote. Oh crap! I didn't promote that book at the beginning of the stream. I'll promote it at the end. But with the Handyman, I do see that as Brad's book. He owns the IP, but my name is still on there.
Yeah,
I need to promote it now. If that book ever gets in the hands of like some cartel members, I have a new name now. Like it was funny. We were on his stream and we were talking with some guys from Juarez, and they're like, "Where are you guys from?" I'm like, "New York." Like, I'm not telling you where I'm from. I don't need a headline about me. Durkin says, Durkin says, I don't know what.
Sorry.
Oh no, go for it.
That looks like such a fun book. And I hope it gets fully funded. But I'm glad to see it even as funded as it is, because I remember how badly the first campaign did.
It was such a learning experience.
Yeah, and
especially for Brad.
Yeah, and he learned a lot. It's a better presentation now. More people know about it. And I really do hope it gets fully funded because it looks like a great book.
Yeah, I told Brad the other day, we were talking on the phone, and that we got Dono the Gamer. What up, dude? Is that saying even if, let's say that like it stopped today, that like the campaign stopped, and you didn't get fully funded, you have 130 people who are about to read your book.
Yeah,
like that's a success in my opinion. And then when you do the second book, hopefully that doubles, and there will be hopefully you'll get returning people, and then you'll get some new people as well.
Yeah,
and then
those 130 people also paid a premium to read your book too. They're not, these aren't just casual readers,
Oh, exactly. I mean, that's why that's the thing with like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, is that it is a premium price. This isn't like you can't just go to your comic store and get a $3 Handyman book. We're in the indie game. We've got to do some special things. You buying it at whatever cost Brad has it, that just goes to show that you believe in the book at that premium price. And then also like you're part of the production, like you're a producer now of this book. I make sure to put everyone's names in my book, because without them, I wouldn't have been able to print the books. I wouldn't have been able to get they're part of the process. They're part of the team.
Yeah. The Movie Men, I tried to do two things. One, to let people throw as much money as they want at it, basically. But two, make it affordable so you can get this for as little as $4, or it's a PDF, but it's $4. Or if you want it delivered to your door, it's only $10. And I tried to keep the prices very affordable because I really want as many readers as we can get on this thing.
And what I also like that is like with your perks is, one, they are very affordable. Guys, I'm gonna put the link one more time in the chat. Is that this isn't just like helping. This isn't just like in the creation of the book and helping backers get the book, but like you got the for the troops.
Yep.
Or you're gonna be sending some copies to the troops, and that's just a good way that's very charitable as a backer to do that. And you guys have a really awesome assortment of perks for people to choose from, and it is very affordable, guys. $4 for a PDF, very affordable. But then the next tier is $5.
Yeah,
which is very smart marketing, by the way.
And then shipping is only $5, so it's 10.
Mm-hmm. No, that's and you know that's for an indie comic, like that's good. That's good. And then you just hope that people resonate with it and you know come back to it.
Yeah.
Dono the Gamer says, I really need this live stream because I need connections and collaborations to promote my comic book series that my friend and I are making. Well, brother, you know that you can hit me up on the gram or Twitter and we get you on the show. Not this month. And give me some time in May to figure out the new show structure. And then we'll figure it out. Guys, what do you guys think about the live streams on Saturday mornings? Because it helps like no one's doing anything on a Saturday morning. What do you guys think about that? Like Jeremy, if I said, hey, I only do my creator live streams on Saturday mornings, would that be you'd be like, yeah, that's okay? Or is that like Saturday's a hard day?
The one the one group of guys that do it on Saturday mornings are Wicked, which is my publisher. They do it every other Saturday. And sometimes they find a reasonable audience, sometimes they don't.
That's a hard one. And like the only reason why that, like, I guess nights are kind of easy because it's just hard because I do it at 7:30, but like that's 9:30 in the East Coast. And by the time we're done, sometimes it's like midnight.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do it on Saturday morning, I would suggest talking and drawing and calling it Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, that's a good way. Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
That's a good. Yeah, guys, and man, once I'm finished with this freaking title sequence, guys, it's gonna be so dope. I learned how to animate today. I really didn't. I just like got two pictures. I went like this and then this, and if you just do it like really fast, your eye fills in the middle section, which is great. Derrickson says the whole idea of networking completely screwed me over. The people I thought were there simply weren't. Interesting, Derrickson. I'd love to explain that because with networking, people think that networking means that I have to get something from you. So Jeremy, we're networking on Twitter, but never was I like, oh, I'm gonna like Jeremy's tweet and hopefully he does X for me. And I'm sure you were like, I'm gonna do this for Tyler on his Twitter and we're gonna network and I'm gonna get on his show because I deserve it. Like I just feel like if you have an intended outcome for your networking, it's not a real relationship.
Well, I mean, like the way this happened was we were just going back and forth, and I was asking you a question about how the format was going to change, and you said, oh, by the way, and I think I said I wouldn't mind being on the show at some point, or and you said, yeah. Hey, great, because I don't have a guest tonight. You want to do that? And I said, okay. It was just two guys. We were, doing it on Twitter, but it was just two guys talking.
And it wasn't you just coming in at the gate and being like, hey, me. It was, building that relationship, communicating. If you guys have watched my videos, it's spending your social currency. There's a video on that. I don't know what it's called on the channel, but spending your social currency, like actually like go and talk with creators. Jeremy was like, hey, what's this new format? And we talk and then we go back and forth and you're like, and then Jeremy, like he said, was like, yeah, I'd love to be on the show. And then I just so happen to have my guest cancel on me today. We need to fill in. Jeremy, do you want to come on the show? And that's how we're doing it. And that's how I think a lot of opportunities can come for us as creators. A lot of us want to make the quick sale. A lot of us want to just keep pitching without building that actual relationship, which isn't good.
Yeah, and it's not a good way to. That's not good business. Like you want to build, relationships, and you want to build a fan base that lasts, and you're not going to do that by being a hit and run artist.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's one thing that's great about like YouTube and really social media in general is that you can produce content. I mean, everyone here is watching this for free. Like Jeremy's not making money. I'm not making money off of this. I've actually realized that currently a big thing with YouTube is if you make a video that says with the headline, like how much I actually made on YouTube in 2018, if you have a really good like thumbnail, like a dollar thing. I'm thinking about making one of those so I can get like 100,000 views. And at the end, it's going to be like, and I actually didn't make any money this year. So I made zero money on YouTube, and that's just me being honest. And I'll show them like the zero amount on my YouTube channel.
Like I lost money because of all the equipment I had to buy.
Yeah, exactly. I've lost money buying all like this stupid microphone and stuff. We got 656 comics here all the way from I think Juarez. How you doing, bro? And you know, it's just a way, and that's why I'm trying to do the new format of the show is, besides just doing this talk show, which, you know, we've been going on for 45 minutes. The new show can be 10 minutes long, and it's a really quick escape. It's entertaining, it's fun, it's free. I'm going to spend like way longer making those videos than I am doing a live stream, which I mean, I worked on one video. It took me like 7 hours to record and edit, and it got like no views. And I was like, I'm just going back to live streaming. Like, I just got to click a button, and and we're doing this. Durkin says, yeah, people who I was chatting with previously before I even intended to put out a crowdfunder just randomly stopped talking at the same time. And that's hard. I mean, you know, with crowdfunding, you just never know who's gonna back the book, you know. It's hard.
Yeah. Sounds like
money.
Sounds like there were a few mean girls there.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. And I'm on the outside of other circles, so to build up other networks can't be done instantly, so there's nothing I can do about it. Well, Durkin, you can check out the channel. I've got a video about how to grow an audience. And this thing isn't gonna growing an audience is hard. It's gonna take freaking forever. It's just you know, what is it? It takes 10 years. It takes 10 years of hard work to become an overnight success. Yeah. You just gotta hustle. You gotta grind. I mean, look at Icarus in the Sun. That guy. Everyone thinks that he was an overnight success. I'm like, go on his Instagram. He's been grinding for like 5 to 7 years.
Oh yeah.
And putting out good content for free. He probably hasn't even been making a lot of money on his art up until Icarus in the Sun.
Well, doesn't he do some stuff for DC though?
It's not released yet.
Okay.
He did like a 60-page book.
Okay.
Which I'm very excited to get. But it's not released yet. And that's the only thing he's done with DC.
Okay.
Is that one book.
What is the book? What is the book?
Raven.
Okay.
It's like a raven, and she's like in high school.
Okay.
It's gonna have like a very Teen Titans Z feel.
Cool.
So I'm excited for that, if not for the story, but for the art. But yeah, it's either you have like it's either you grind hard like him 5-6 years. Hopefully, you know, he had like two or three pieces of Teen Titans fan art that went viral. And then he was like, well, people like this, so I'm going to keep drawing them. You know, gets to 2 million followers and has like, you know, the biggest Indiegogo campaign ever created. Dono the gamer says 10 years of hard work. Why is Bad Babby relevant then? Oh man, because people like trash, man. She's a trash human being. She's 15. She's freaking disgusting. She's trash. And actually, I'll tell you why, because I actually know this because I watched Dr. Phil. Is when she went, do you know who Bad Babby is?
I don't know who she is.
She's the 15-year-old girl who was like, "Catch me outside. How about that?"
Okay.
You heard that?
No,
okay. Well,
I think I've heard the phrase.
Oh yeah, I'm glad that you haven't exposed yourself to such trash. That goes to show what kind of person you are. But yeah, so she says that clip, and right, by the way, like these episodes air like 4 or 5 months in advance, like after all like the damage has been done. So she is actually in this rehab thing of like bring your teenager here and we're going to kick their ass. And when they come back, they're going to be good citizens of America. And so this girl who's just like, she thinks she's a thug, Dr. Phil chucks her in this institution for like 5 months. She comes back out like, you know, putting her heart to the flag and has Christ in her heart. Okay. And then her mom, and then as she gets out, her mom's like, yo, bitch, like your clip is going viral. You should forget what they did and be famous and get millions. And then she was just like, she like ripped the flag and the Christ out of her heart and went back and she went back to being a freaking thug. And now she's just like punching people on the streets, and now she has a rap career. And
oh man,
she's so trashy. In fact, it was so when she got her record deal, it was between like her and like this really classy girl who'd been working like her whole life to be like a really good musician. Like excellent performance, like just a really like good, like you look at this girl and go, she has worked so hard. She is so classy. She's so beautiful. She should get it. And then you got this like this 15-year-old girl who talks like this, and she's rapping about like being in the club. She's not even old enough to go. And the record label chose the trashy girl because they knew that this girl is like currently hyped up because she's trash and Instagram famous. And now, you know, she's gonna make them more money. The nice girl gets so sad and kills herself.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
Yeah, super sad. So now we really don't like this trashy girl. And Dr. Phil really regrets this. He really regrets airing the episode. So guys, don't be trash. Earn your success.
Yes.
You don't want to be known for being a crappy person. I mean, I don't like to bring up drama here on the show, but is Renfamous even known for anything positive?
No.
Yeah. Even like among her own following, I'd be like, yeah, I like you, but I follow you, and like I guess you're like, but you're just really going out of your way to be mean to other people, even if I don't agree with those other people.
I mean, I'd say that, you know, she's a good cosplayer, but no.
Yeah. So guys, always be positive. You know, put your heart to the flag. And no, I'm joking. You can take a knee if you want. I take a knee sometimes, only when I'm tying my shoe. And then everyone's like, is Tyler going to tell us who to vote for now? You can vote for anyone you want.
I vote for every 4 years in the presidential election. I go in there and I write in Bob Lott. That's my dad.
I'll just let you guys know every person I voted for is one. So I'm not smart. No, I'm joking. Actually, I've voted for most people who have lost. Justin Ori says, if she acted at least 1% normal, I wouldn't think she's just a hate monger. Yeah, guys, don't be crazy. Be normal. So, guys, Jeremy, where can people find you on Twitter?
Okay, on Twitter, go to Jeremy Lott Diary. That's JeremyLottDiary. And then, you know, on Indiegogo, it's just search for Movie Man. You'll find it.
Guys, I put that in the chats. I put both his Twitter and the Indiegogo in the chat. So, you know, if this is a book you feel that you want to get down and dirty with, go back it for like the beautiful price of $4 for a PDF. Or if you really want to get physical with it, you know, $10. You can do it. Add it to your indie comic book selection. Also, guys, for my boy Pencil for Life, Brad, feel free to go check out The Handyman. We have 12 days left to get this book out to you guys. Brad's been working really hard on the art, and you know, it's a fun story. It's basically the Mexican John Wick and gets all of his tools and weapons from Home Depot. So if you want to see someone get their brain stabbed with a screwdriver, this is a comic for you. Jeremy, thanks so much for being on the show, bro.
Thanks for having me on.
Guys, thank you all for watching. Sorry about that freaking hiccup. It's mother freaking Google Hangouts. You know, the most perfect of softwares for us to do these live streams. If you're new to the channel, remember to smash that subscribe button, like, and comment. And let me just get this. Let me let you guys know the schedules. On Wednesday, we're going to have Lonnie Webb come on the show to talk about their Kickstarter with something. And we're going to talk about a topic that I don't know of. And then I'm failing at this outro. Guys, you guys have a good freaking day, and I'll see you guys Wednesday. Peace out.